12 million people in the UK are now categorised as obese, and an equal number suffering from some form of eating disorder. Our relationship with food is in turmoil, so we've opened the doors to a brand new feeding clinic to combat these disastrous diets. Each week, a Supersize and Superskinny pairing will swap plates and get a taste of life on the other side of the culinary tracks.
I don't think I can go another couple of hours without any food.
This week, it's a tale of two Amys.
On a really bad day, I could clear the kitchen cupboards.
Just missing a meal, I don't even notice when I do that anymore.
Despite sharing a name, they certainly don't share the same diets.
Seriously though, do you not think that pizza every night's a bit much?
Just eating this sheer volume of fast food is actually putting me off fast food for life.
And at the end of her stay, Supersizer Amy will be jetting across the pond to meet one American whose battle with overeating is a matter of life and death.
There is a chance that it could kill me.
Plus, 3 women with different eating disorders face their food fears head-on in the supermarket.
Yeah.
Sorry, this might take some time.
The all-new feeding clinic has once again opened its doors to another Supersize and Superskinny duo. For 5 days, they'll be swapping diets to help them break their dreadful dietary habits. And overseeing the swap, Dr. Christian Jessen. Checking in today is 21-year-old Amy Green from Portsmouth.
On a bad day, I can get through a whole loaf of bread, 4 or 5 white chocolate bars, 4 custard slices.
This young mum is piling on the pounds due to her incessant grazing.
On a really bad day, I could clear the kitchen cupboards.
And nights in with husband Darren are shared with close friend Donna. Kebab.
We have takeaway about 2 or 3 times a week. Friday's payday, so that's always a big treat night, and we have the super large doner with large cheesy chips. Usually when I start eating, it's for comfort. It makes me feel better, and I find it very hard to stop.
So hard, in fact, it's not unusual for Amy to carry on with last night's dinner the morning after. And to wash the whole thing down, Amy reaches for one of her biggest loves.
I love cola, drink lots of it. On a bad day, I can get up to about 5 litres of cola a day. I love cola. I love it.
Amy may be passionate about her cola, but her increasing weight is pushing all the passion out of her relationship with Darren.
I'm quite paranoid that Darren doesn't find me attractive. I tend to push him away, and he finds that really difficult.
Amy's size has affected our sex life, you know. I've got to put my arm around her, you know, she pushes me away, and it just makes me feel down. You know, she's the love of my life. I don't want her to be like that, I just want her to be happy.
I think if we carry on the way we're going, then we might not last that much longer.
It's time for Supersizer to meet the doctor and find out what damage her diet has already done. At 5'8", a healthy weight for Amy would be between 9.5 and 12 stone. She actually weighs in at a whopping 20 stone, 8 pounds.
You're 21. How on earth did your weight get to this state?
It started when I was very young. I started sneak eating at like 7, and it's just escalated from there.
How do you feel about your weight now?
Oh, I think it's disgusting. I hate how much I weigh.
And therefore, why haven't you changed anything?
I've tried. It's a really bad habit that I can't break.
But there's also something or someone else that has finally prompted Amy to seek Dr. Christian's help.
Although my daughter's only 8 months old, it does concern me that she'll pick up habits and that she'll be eating unhealthily at such a young age, and that she'll go through all the similar problems that I had and end up where I am now.
To help Amy change for good is another Amy, 18-year-old Ami Walsh from Newton Abbot, Devon. This super skinny student juggles a packed college course with a part-time job, but despite it being in a bakery, still doesn't find time for food.
I lead quite a busy lifestyle. I don't necessarily find the time to sit down and enjoy my food. I find I have to eat on the go or not eat at all. Just missing a meal, I don't even notice when I do that anymore. I pick at my foods quite a lot, especially when I'm at work. I find that I carry on working and eat as well, so, you know, a small pasty, which should only take me 10 minutes to eat, will end up lasting me 3 hours. Convenience is more important than what I'm eating, I guess. So it's very, very easy for me to just grab a pizza out of the fridge and whack it in the oven.
Amy's failure to understand that eating regularly is essential has become a concern to her family.
I see her sometimes and I'm like, Amy, you eating? And she's shaking and she's like, no, I'm fine. It's like, please, Amy, can you eat something? She's like, no, I'm fine, I'll be fine. So it's horrible to even look at Amy sometimes because she's so thin, and I can't stand her looking like that anymore because I feel like it's hurting her.
Like her Supersize namesake, Amy is topping up the energy that's missing from her tiny diet by always having something fizzy to hand.
I find that unless I have a glass of cola, I don't have any energy for the day. A lot of the time I am replacing my meals with bottles of cola.
Amy knows where she's going wrong and hates the effect it's had on her body.
When I look in the mirror, I feel my body hasn't developed the way it should have because of my low diet, and I always feel the same way, you know, just a little girl.
Well, if anyone can help Amy make the right changes, it's Dr. Christian. Time to check into the feeding clinic.
Your diet is pretty spectacularly limited, isn't it?
Yeah,
Tell me what's going on.
Definitely. I'm quite a fussy eater, I must say, and pretty much since I was a very little girl, I've been very particular about what I like to eat and what I don't like to eat. And I guess because my parents always let me have my own way, it's always stayed that way.
You think that was the start, then, of all of these problems?
Definitely the start of my downfall.
OK.
And at 15, a tragic loss triggered a dramatic downward spiral in Amy's weight.
My dad passed away after being in hospital for 4 months. And that was a really traumatic time for me. He had a severe brain damage. When he went into hospital, he was about 13.5 stone. And throughout his time, though, he was dropping weight. That was really painful for me to watch, just to see him getting so small because he was my Superman. And then I had this concoction in my head that if I was smaller than him, then he wouldn't be so ashamed of himself and he'd be better. When my dad passed away, I realised that everything I had done was pointless, more than pointless. I'd completely destroyed myself over an irrational thought that didn't make any sense.
All of your explanations for the things that you have done, in a funny way, do make sense. They're completely easy to see your logic, even if perhaps the logic wasn't quite right. It's very easy to understand, but what it tells me is that you're very headstrong. And when you want to do something, you absolutely stick to it. So, you know, use this week again to sort of think about all those things and almost harness that power within you and make sure that actually you turn it towards something good.
Oh, definitely.
The fact Amy knows what's prompted her not to eat properly is a good start. So it's time for her to meet the woman whose diet she'll be following this week.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Amy.
So am I.
Oh, wow, that's incredible.
Oh my God, how little are you? It's just strange seeing someone that's pretty much half the size of you, literally. 54 round the waist I was.
Well, I'm 24 around mine.
God.
Yeah. Having Amy tell me her measurements and hearing that they were a lot of the time double the size of mine made me think, gosh, is Amy, 2 people, or am I half a person, you know?
Now that the two Amys have met, it's time for them to come face to face with what they do or do not eat. And for both Amys, it's an opportunity to see what lies ahead this week.
So, Amy, we're going to start with you, and we're going to start with breakfasts. What on earth is that?
That is a chocolate bar.
That is a chocolate bar. Any other breakfast to come?
That is all my breakfast.
Do you think it gets a bit better at lunchtime?
I hope so.
Oh, I hope so too. So does Amy. Let's have a look. Cereal?
That's more cereal.
So that's the breakfast that you should have had?
Yeah.
We've done all of breakfasts and we've done all of lunches for an entire week. Is this lady's a vegetarian? Perhaps dinner time is a great festival of fresh fruit and vegetables, is it? A slice of pizza. A slice of pizza. Look at this.
Seeing it come down, that is
That's quite embarrassing.
There is one other thing that you use as a major source of energy, as a major pick-me-up, isn't there? You get through an average of about 2 litres of cola a day. Nothing nutritious, nothing that will make you grow, heal, repair. Pitiful, isn't it?
It really is.
An active teenager, Amy should be consuming around 2,000 calories a day, but her restrictive diet only contains an average 1,700 calories. 500 of those come from her love of fizzy diet drinks.
So, Amy, your turn. Are you ready for this? Breakfast for you first. I thought I said breakfast.
I eat leftovers from the night before a lot of the time for breakfast.
That's more than I would buy if I was going to a takeaway.
Good, tell her, don't tell me, tell her. Lunches, let's have a look. Bagels with fried egg and bacon and barbecue sauce. All right, dinner time. Oh, yes. It's sort of heavy, stodgy, starchy, masses of bread. That looks like Chinese takeaway.
That is.
Yeah, drinks?
I drink a lot of cola. It's disgusting.
You must have seen all this before. Why is it shocking you now?
I've never even thought of it that way before. It's horrible.
Young mum Amy's average calorie intake is a staggering 6,000 calories a day. That's a gut-busting 4,000 calories a day more than the average UK woman needs. Put bluntly, Amy's eating enough for 3 women every single day.
You both are complete cola junkies. There is absolutely no point in me swapping you drink for drink, is there? I'm putting down a rule right now. You're not going to have any cola this week. It's out of the swap. It's out of your week. It's gone. You are using it as a substitute for proper food, and that's got to stop. And you are using it as an emotional crutch.
It's the Amy's first meal of the week, and our skinny, veggie-dodging vegetarian is about to have a Chinese takeaway, Supersize style. So that's rice, chips, vegetarian spring rolls, tofu with ginger, mixed veg with black bean sauce, and more mixed veg in sweet and sour sauce. And for Supersize Amy, it's a single slice of pizza.
This is probably the biggest meal I have ever had in my life. Yeah.
How you feeling? Honestly?
Honestly, I'm feeling quite sick. I'm gonna have stomach pains tonight. I normally get stomach pains if I eat 3 slices of pizza. So.
Really?
I think I probably should call it a day. Oh. It was just far too big, the portion size. I can't understand how Amy can eat this much without getting full.
After that dinner of the 1 slice of pizza, I'm definitely going to be hungry later.
Coming up, Superskinny Amy embarks on a feeding frenzy.
I can't believe how much food I've eaten. It's ridiculous.
And why the supermarket can be a battleground when you have an eating disorder.
Looking at all the yummy cheesecakes almost scares me a little bit. Thinking about trying to keep them in, because I never would, never ever.